Generic greetings and welcome to Construction Plus Prison Architect Alpha 36, episode 13, the last episode for this prison. So in the previous episode, we didn't do a lot of hard construction. That time has come and gone. We're basically gone to the management side of the game now. But we did put a lot of flooring in, and we'll be continuing that trend in this one because there's a couple of places, actually I think there's only one place in the classroom there that we do need a bit of flooring. But I'll go around and actually change things up and, just alter a couple of things. We also need to mess around with the regime. I'm just going to pause it for a second there. We need to alter the regime so we serve 3 high variety, high quantity meals in 2 days, just to get that grant done, just because we can, just because we're going to finish it off. I've also just realised that we're now at minus 1,088 generic units of currency, mainly because of the reform. That is not good at all. So, actually altering the regime as well, so we're going to serve all of these meals, it means that we're pretty much going to be on a complete loss leader on this one. We're going to be in the negative, shall we say, so that's not going to be good. We might have to alter the programs somewhat and mess around with it. We also want to get the perimeter wall in a little bit, but honestly, looking at my current funding situation, I think that is just not a possibility at all. So anyway, let's just crack on. First things first, we need to alter this regime. So it's currently 10 o'clock in the morning, so actually, or just after 10, so we need to take that into account there. We need to serve 3 high variety, high quantity meals. So the best thing to do is just to go to free time and change everything to free time for the time being, because then we know that that will work out, and it's also easier to mess around with stuff. So we want to go sleep, then shower. And then we want basically an hour. We could have an hour of eat, or we could have 2 hours of eat. So we could have 2 hours of eat there, then 2 hours of eat there, and then maybe there. Is that in the middle? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that should do us quite nicely. I don't really like having 1 hour of eat. I find that they tend to come and then they'll just get sat down, and then they'll be told to leave and move off. Although that's not strictly true these days, because if they're on a meal, they will finish that meal, assuming things like having a bang up or something, like say if I did lock up like that. If I put lock up there, it means that they will go immediately to that. They won't stop and they won't finish their meal. Let's have a bit of work on either side of that. So we still got a bit of free time. Actually, we're going to do that because we do want them to work, and I think that will sort us out. So there we go. Oh, we also need to serve what is it? Sorry, 3. Did that work? Yes, eat. So it's 3 high variety, high quantity meals for 2 days. So high quantity and high variety means we need to go to our policy, and high variety, high quality. There we go. Or quantity and variety. So there's that sorted. Just realised that, yes, the reason why our daily cash flow has gone right down is because I have upped that. So that's okay. We're not really going to get a lot of minuses. What I do want to do is go to our programs and just check. We've got 2 interested in the kitchen safety and hygiene, which we're currently running. That's good. We've got carpentry apprenticeship, 1 finished, 0% passed. Nobody's actually doing this, and it's 500 a session, so I'm going to stop that, and that is immediately going to put us, there we go, put us in the money. And also we've just got a $3,000 early release prisoner reward, which is pretty cool. Behavioural therapy, we're 10 in the queue, which I would love to do some more than that. We've only got, oh, look at that. That's shocking, that, really. 9 in the queue, 9 finished, 1%. 1 has passed, which is 11% pass rate. That's terrible. That's probably the worst in the prison. Good grief. Anyway, so we've got them programs running. Danger level is going up, and it will do because we don't have any visitation, and we're going to have to keep that removed for, I think it just says until that's finished, which is like 72 hours or something like that. Either way, we're going to crack on. So we got a little bit of money, enough for me to go to materials, and then to remove tunnels, we're going to remove the tunnels there, because obviously we do want that back in. There's all that sorted. And then I do want to go over here. I want to get the guard to come in there. I want to also check, I want to get another guard, you, to come in here. The reason I'm doing that is to get line of sight to this, and as soon as they go in, I will go to intelligence and then to the informants tab, and we can see that we don't have any potential CIs over there. We do have this guy who's a CI, which is pretty cool. We've also got Christopher France over there, who's strong and a gang member. Suspicion is quite low, so I'm actually going to activate him because I do want to start having a little bit of a chat there and see if I can find some more things. We'll just check on gangs here. We've got 2, 2, and 4 gang members. No real problems there. They can't really take anything over. I'm not too worried. Informants. Looks like we've got a couple. We've got a snitch over there next to law enforcement. Obviously, they're shoved in one corner in our nice little sort of security room. We've got 1 legendary prisoner, which goes over that side. And we have an unknown there and an unknown there. So we don't really know these guys' reputations up the top here. Looks like most of these are fine. That one is, yeah, Alpha Gamers Alpha. And, yeah, so So that will sort that out. Okay, and then we'll unpause it and then crack on. So, we're just going to wait to see how long it takes to get this one sorted. Cell Block C, we're never going to get done. I know that the next update, version 1 of Prison Architect, comes out on the 6th of October. So, as of the time recording, that's about a week away. So, we could, if we wanted to, expand the prison to the left and add a bit more, but that only gives me 3 episodes, about an hour and a half worth of building and stuff to get that sorted. So I'm not going to do that because I think that we're just, with the money we don't have, yeah, it's just not possible. I'd rather not expand too far. Speaking of Alpha 6, while this is cracking on, I'm just going to speed up to max speed. If you're not aware, the Introversion did a live, sort of a live preview of what's coming out in that version. Obviously, there's typical, shed loads of polishes on the game, which we hope is going to, kick out a lot of the bugs that are in this, they're in the build still. Although I still think that we're going to have some. I mean, it's just par for the course. We're just going to have it. It's a quite big, expansive game. It's basically a full simulation of many different things with overlapping systems, so there's bound to be a few glitches still in there, but hopefully nothing that's game breaking. At the moment, there's nothing really in the game that's totally broken, as far as I can tell. It's certainly not for someone like myself who's played, several hundred hours of this thing, so any bugs that you encounter, I generally know how to get around them. I've just put a lot of classroom flooring in, and that took me from our 5 grand positive up to a minus 137 generic units of currency stroke generic credits, so that's not great at all. Either way, we are doing our inmate nutritional research, and it's coming on good. So anyway, yes, not Alpha 6, it's a version 1 coming out on the 6th of October. Along with the bug fixes and stuff, the main updates or the main additions are I think it's a 5 mission story at the start of it. Now, I'm pretty sure that the plan was to do a fairly big campaign story at the start, which that was something they wanted to do when they first introduced the game, and they said that was what they were going to do. But it looks like that's pretty much been removed now. So we do have a 5 mission story at the start, 5 or 6, I can't remember exactly how many, but it's basically a story at the start that's going to serve as a bit of a tutorial where you start off like you normally do with this. I mean, you can actually go to escape and go to introduction and run the introduction, which is like a very, very short story about someone who caught his wife cheating and then murdered her and a lover, and then basically got sent to death row, and then you actually go through and execute them. That's that's the first mission in this. Now, I don't know whether that's going to be the first mission in the new update, whether that's going to be version 1, but we'll have to see about that. But there's going to be apparently a set of missions where the first mission is you learn how to click on the rooms tab and designate something, and all the way up to actually building a prison, and that gets you ready for the sandbox. So that's pretty cool. I really like that. The best feature, however, is the new prisoner escapes feature, where now in the game there is a feature where if you really ball something up too much, you can actually, you get legal prep to prevent it, but if you ball something up really, really harshly, you actually get sent to your own prison, and you can wander around, but you can't really do anything. But now, it's pretty much like the Escapists. You get sent to a prison, or you can load any prison that you've made, or you download from the Steam Workshop, or whatever, and then you are a prison inside of it. So you can go in, and you can walk around, and you can pretty much act like any other prisoner. You can go to rooms, even rooms that are designated not for you. You can get beaten up by guards, you can get attacked, you can get reputation, you can steal things, you can tunnel, you can try and escape, you can start getting your own little posse together, and you're pretty much playing the Escapists, I mean, I've featured that game on the channel before, and it's basically like that, and you can dig, you can tunnel, you can do all sorts of stuff, and you can go around your own prison, and I do see that being a really good feature, a really fun and interesting one. It also is a useful one because you can actually roleplay your own prison, or run through your own prison to find out where the weaknesses are and play it as a prisoner would. You can run around and say, actually, well, this is a bit weird because this is where they're standing, and I know where the weaknesses are, and you can play that and then go back to your prison, then alter it and do it that way. So that's pretty cool, and I will definitely be featuring that on the channel. In fact, what I might do, I might go back through some of the older prisons and see how fast I can escape from it. But we'll have to see what happens. Obviously, a lot of the older prisons won't really work on the new update, so we'll see how it goes. But yes, version 1 looking very, very good. And they've already said that there's other features that they want to bring in and stuff. So it's definitely not the end of Prison Architect, but perhaps ramping it down is just an inevitable possibility of that. But we'll see how it goes. Right, just what else do I replace it with on the channel? Anyway, and I still enjoy playing it. Right. Right, so, first things first, I need to go to my prisoner intake and turn that to none. Just have a quick look here. We have a total of 62 prisoners. Maximum safe capacity is 68. However, we do have 62 shared capacity, or we have 62 prisoners, and 6 of them, four of them, rather, are on protective and supermax. So we're actually really down to... can we take 4 more? I think we can take 4 more. So we're going to take in, let's have a quick look at our prisoners. We're going to take in low risk because that's just what we'll do. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take 10 prisoners in. This is going to overdo it massively, but in all honesty, I just want a bit of money to get the prisoners on this left-hand side, to get the money to start building a bit of perimeter fencing. In fact, what I should have done tonight is done a full shakedown, but we haven't done that, but whatever, that's fine. We can do it in the next morning. We do a bit of a half shakedown if we want to, but it's just because it's about come morning, I don't think that's going to be a good thing. So... we've got a bit of exports going out. Obviously, we are still making things in the workshop. So we've got the stack of license plates there. In fact, as you can see, where they're starting to dump stuff, and they'll be taking that in a moment. It's actually got to do store license plate on table. That's it to do. I don't know why, but you can see they're actually bringing logs as well from the forestry. Forestry's still working. This prison, obviously, the whole point in it is because this is the last alpha prison that we're going to make. I wanted to have pretty much everything in here. So the only thing we haven't really done is, well, there's a couple of things actually. We haven't really done any laundry or food distribution changes because we just don't need it. The automatic system is working fine. Room quality, we've got that all sorted. That's good. We haven't done the scheduler, so if we can actually alter the schedule. We can go for, well, we've done the regime, but the actual scheduler where you go to guard patrols and guards, things like that, where you can alter the scheduler, things like that. We can do that, but we haven't really done that. I don't really like it. I'm not a big fan of it. Oh, it looks like we're actually receiving a death row prisoner in the next one, which is good. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to go to our intake and turn that to none. And I'm just going to say to receive all death row prisoners that we can. So let's just have a quick look at our intelligence and informants here. Looks like we've got a quick person over there. The rest do not have any traits as far as I can tell. It's just quick, so that's fine. That guy's ex-law enforcement, and I don't know why he's going there. Oh, the reason he's going there is because of parole. That's fine. I was going to say there's a reason why is he let out. It actually he's just being released, so he's going to go. One of the things of having low-risk prisoners is that a lot of the time they do get let out, so there's no real problem in overdoing it. As you can see, we're on to 71 prisoners now, so we are technically over our safe capacity, but it's not really a big problem, not really a big problem at all, especially when we're releasing a couple of prisoners. Oh, that's interesting. Let's just stop that for a second there while I finish that. Yeah, so it's not really a problem when you're releasing prisoners at a fairly good rate. This dog smelled something around the bottom here, so I'm very, very edgy. I'm going to get that searched, I'm going to get that searched, and I'm going to get that searched. I really want to check these things. Let's do a manual search on all of these toilets. I click search, and that's just not doing it. Why am I not getting a search there? Ah, that's because that's a gang member. Right, we can't search that toilet for some reason because it's a gang member. I'm going to search your cell. I can't search your cell. Interesting. So, I'm going to instead search the cell block. Can't even do that. Why can I not do this? Search cell block. There we go. That must have been a... I'm guessing that this one then is also a gang... Yeah, it's also a gang one. Yeah, okay. So we're searching the cell block. Let's just speed up to max speed because the dog did smell something around the bottom here. So it means that any of these could be... We'll search that and we'll search that again. Here we'll search cell block. Which is that? That's a cell block, that little bit there. Yeah. I mean, it could have been a false positive there, but I really don't want to take the chance, especially with tunnels and stuff. So we're going to have a little searcheroo. Now, a lot of the guards are, too busy searching at the top and stuff, so I really want them to search on the bottom first. Looks like we're finding a couple of phones and things like that. This will do for our shakedown. We'll still do a shakedown on the night, I think, but we'll see how it goes. Where's the dog? We should have another dog, or the K9 unit is over... Ah, here we go. K9 units on the bottom there. We're going to put it to normal speed because sometimes they do jitter about a bit when they're on max speed. So dog's coming along. Actually, we'll speed up just a little bit. Coming along. If they smell something again, then we will definitely have to start ripping toilets off the wall, because that's the sort of foolproof way to find something. But either way, the dog's coming along. Oh, it darted over the other side. I was thinking, oh god. I'm really hoping as well, I'm guessing not though, that... It's another one there, is it? Right, so again, that could be a false positive, but the chances are it ain't. And that guy, because he... I've got to dismantle on that. I'm going to dismantle both of these toilets. Because it's right in the middle, I think he could have went across. These could have joined together and then went down. That is a possibility. I don't know what the chances are of that, but let's just remove these things. That's okay, and that's okay. You know what? I think it might have just been a false positive. We can't really... I mean, I've done, I think, pretty much all I can to discover any tunnel that's there. It wouldn't be any of these other ones. There'd be no reason for it to be them. So, yeah, we'll leave that there. We'll just have to assume that it was a false positive. Let's just have a quick look at our... We've got one person in lockdown. I don't know why. Oh, we've always got people in lockdown because we've got a permanent lockdown going here. Just check our intelligence and informants here. We've still got our confidential informant over there and a couple of others, as well as our legendary prisoner. We've got a tough instigator there. We've got a couple of... Oh, we haven't got any question marks now, which is good. I know we do. We still got one there. That guy we still don't know about. Extremely tough gang members over there. Gang members. Fearless gang member. Volatile. Quick. Yeah, we still haven't got... Oh, there's a skilled fighter. I was going to say a street fighter. But I guess it's the same thing, really. Well, it's not, but, you know, could be. You could street fight and be skilled. Who knows? Yeah, we haven't got anyone that I would class as... I guess... Oh, what's this? We're going to do another... That's a death row appeals. We're running a death row appeals when there's no death row inmate in there. That's a bit of a dodgy one. Let's just go to our programs here and find death row appeals for a second. Parole hearing, death row appeal is started. Honestly, it doesn't cost any money, so I might as well just keep it going. Carpentry apprenticeship. One person is interested, and I could run it if I want to, but I think I will give it a go. I'll give it a go. What else can we do? We'll go right at the bottom. We've got spiritual guidance on the go there. General education qualification, nobody interested, as you can see on the left-hand side here. We've got 15 prisoners past the foundation education course, and we've got 6% on that one, so don't think we're ever going to do that. That's just not happening, is it? It's just not happening at all. One thing that was interesting in the introversion sort of talk when they were going on about the prisons is one of the questions was asked, what sort of prisons do you personally make? It was to them on stage, and they were saying that, like, you know, what sort of prisons do you make? And you know, I think the reply was, oh well, you know, sometimes I try to do a reformist prison, then end up just going full hellhole by the end, and that's an interesting one, because that's actually sort of how I try. I mean, I've done I've set out in these videos to do certain things, like we've done it, so we've said, oh, we're going to do this, and this, and that's and that's because it's going to be interesting, blah blah blah. But yeah, it's one of those things where I haven't really. Let me just put some perimeter fencing in here. Might as well go all the way to the bottom. Actually, we got enough money. No, let's not go crazy. Yeah, I do set off in general. You know, even though we've done the theme prisons and like roleplay type prisons where we said we're going to be very harsh, we're going to be very reformist, whatever. I do generally set off to be sort of reformist, and then end up by the end of it just being on free fire, not caring, you know, not a single shit is given that day, you know, anyone that messes up, bang, shotgun, you know, and just doing it that way, which is, I don't know if that's a reflection on something or not. Don't know what it says. It might say absolutely nothing at all, and I'm reading too much into it, but it's an interesting way of playing, I guess. Anyway, I've got this big row of perimeter wall going around here. That means that in order to get out, they're going to have to not just dig that way, they're going to have to probably dig up and then across. That's going to be a more annoyance for them. Obviously, I've done the same on the death row cells as well, and I do want to do the bottom as well. Let's just have a quick look at our prison grading. Oh, it's currently sleep time, and I think what I'll do is a full shakedown here, because I think it's about time we crack on with that. I've actually got 66 prisons of a maximum of 68, so that's pretty... Actually, it's so we got 66 prisoners, and actually minus 3 off that, because we've got 2 in super max, 1 in custody. So we're actually on 63. Our shared capacity is 62, so we're only 1 over, so there should only really be a couple of people in this holding cell, and the reason why there's more than... Oh, there should only be 1? Yes, there is only 1, so that's good. That, you know, that's mathematics, and that works out. There could technically be more people in holding cells because of the way that the room grading works. So, for example, if we had the room quality at really low and the prisoner deserves high, they could get shifted to the holding cell until such time as one becomes available, which is an interesting idea, and I think there has been a couple of changes there. But yeah, it can happen. Anyway, we've got our inmate nutritional research 87% done, which is good. So one more meal, basically, and we get that sorted, and then I can change it around. I probably won't... No, I think I will change it back. I think I will change it back, because obviously I'll be sharing the prison file and stuff like that, so it's best to put it back to what it was. Let's have a quick look at prison grading here. Reoffending rate is 7%. That's actually gone down, I believe, from our other one, so that's good. We've got 44 prisoners have been released. That's a very, very high turnover. Paroled early is 32 of them, with a 3% reoffending rate, so that's fantastic. We've only had one executed, but sadly, one innocent. That's extremely bad. That's the worst thing, really, that I think I can think of it. I mean, I don't know, you know, like where you stand on this, but you could argue that that is worse than an accidental death. You know, because, you know, accidental death is just that. Or, you know, if it kicks off and someone gets shot, you know, that's bad. Nobody's disputing this. But at the end of the day, that, you know, that it happened. It was sort of in a chaotic environment. What happened with the execution is we went through all the paperwork, we did all that thing, we made the choice, you know, lots of people were involved in this decision, blah, blah, blah. And then when it came out, the guy was innocent. You know? You can argue that that's worse than just the accidental one, but, you know. Either way, that happened, which is really, really bad. Our punishment is quite high, which is good. Reform is quite low, which I'm very, very unhappy about, but I think that's mainly due to the high-risk population as well, because they don't really do reform. We've got some gang members in as well. That if you have gang members, reform just shoots straight to the ground, because they do not do reform, they don't do programs, they don't even work, as far as I'm aware. So, you know, have to be careful on that one. So that shoots it right down. Security is quite high, health is quite low, which I don't know why, because we do have oh, there's a nice 15 grand grant completion payment. Fantastic. So that will give us enough money to hopefully go to perimeter wall, and then clicky click. Ooh, why can't I do it from there? Can't build it from there. That's an interesting one. I wonder why. Is that still is that classed as indoors? I think that's classed as a bit of a building, you know. Yeah, for some reason that... No, I don't know. I don't know why, but that might be a bit of a building. Interesting. Anyway, I'm just going to go to perimeter wall, and from there onwards, I'm going to go perimeter, all the way to the end, and then all the way up to there. And to be honest with you, because I've still got a bit of money left, I'm going to continue going up to that side. Now, the reason for that is so it means that this person, if they really want to escape, they're not going to have to go, instead of going up and then across, because that is a bit of a weak spot there, I must confess, they're going to have to go just straight underneath it. They're never going to tunnel all the way up to the top, and if they do, then the chances of me finding it are quite high. So there you go. We have a death row inmate just turned up here, so let's have a quick look at our death row inmate. We can't actually click on him there, so I'm just going to go over to the cell where he'll probably be being escorted. I was going to say executed, but that's later on. He actually probably not. He's got a 49% chance of a likelihood of him, you know, his sentence being reduced. So it's Buck Wheaton. Accidentally shot a friend in the leg while hunting. Friend decided not to press charges, however Buck didn't have a valid hunting permit. Sentenced to 25 years for multiple crimes including murder, torture and armed robbery. So the actual biography wants to sort of talk about a hunting accident, and then, oh, by the way, he actually he did some murdering and torture. Murder, plea not guilty. Torture, plea not guilty. Armed robbery, plea not guilty. Aggravated assault, plea not guilty. Murder, plea not guilty. And murder, plea not guilty. So quite a rap sheet there. No reputation as far as we're aware of, and obviously experience there. Likelihood of clemency 49%. We'll just got a quick look at our intelligence, and he does have reputation, so he does have some questionable question marks there, which can activate our other confidential informants, our other CI. He does have some reputation, but we don't know what it is. We have no idea what it is at the moment. Let's just go to our regime. We're going to go back to the free time status all the way like this, and then we need to alter stuff around again. So there's that eat down. We need to go to, I guess, an hour of free time, 1, 2, 3, 4 hours of work, or 5 hours of work, and then we'll have 2 hours of eat, and then we'll have a lockup of 2 hours, and then we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of work again, and then 2 hours of free time. So that's not bad at all. Not bad at all. In fact, is it a little bit harsh? Yes, it is, but sack it. Cool. Right, so obviously everybody's going to be forced to eat, and they're going to go straight away. This is a bit of a weird one. Actually, let's just also go to our policy and change the meal variety, mean quantity to medium. Someone's getting tased there. It'll be our high-risk prisoner. Yeah, it's Justin Boglet or whatever he's called. Bloget. Yeah, it's the legendary prisoner that basically kicks off at any opportunity. What do you mean you don't like the colour of tennis balls? Ah! That's what he's pretty much like. So we need to just ignore him. Right. So another prisoner is arriving for death row as well, which is an interesting one. Never seen two in a row, I don't think. So they're turning up shortly. We can go to our programs and just check that we've got an OD going on there. And that guy's got a very, very square head. His head's got it's very square. Or is that a cap? I think he might have a cap on, but it's the same colour as him. Hang on. Oh God, good grief! It's maximum speed. Does he have a cap on? Yes, he does. Look, you can actually see that there is a line there, slight different shade. It looks like he had a very square head. There we go, and that looks still glitchy. There we go. Right, so there's that sorted. Right, so foundation education program still running. Cell block C we're never going to do. Remove all visitation rooms until that's stopped. Obviously, we need to keep that removed. We've got our needs, and we'll probably see that is getting quite high for the. Where is it? Body, food, sleep, hygiene, exercise, family. Family is it's only on medium. I guess that's because we've got a lot of phone booths, so we don't really have a big problem there. Okay, that's cool. Right, so we need to go to our grants. There's 3 hidden. We've got carpentry apprenticeship. We might as well run that. Might as well take the grant out there. Produce 10 superior beds. We can then go to our programs and just go right down the bottom here. And we've got general education, no. Death row appeal is on the go, so we can start another one. No, all rooms booked, so we'll keep that closed. We might have to alter the parole hearing just so we can get another death row appeal in, because obviously there's going to be another death row prisoner coming in here. Our alcoholics group therapy, only one in the queue, 5 finished with finished with only with none passed basically. Our reform on this is not very good at all, to be honest with you. Carpentry apprenticeship, we've got 1 finished, 0% passed. Looks like there is 1 person that's actually running into that, which is quite good. Let's have a quick look. Who is it? Him. That guy, yeah. So it's still running, which is an interesting one. Right. Speed up to max speed. It looks like our perimeter wall is going quite well. Look at that. That's very, very good indeed, apart from that little bit there, which I must confess is a little bit of a downside. That guy's injured. And I don't know why. He's food, starving, and alcohol, which is interesting. Don't know why. Can you finish that bit off? Oh, he's reading a book. Sweet. We've got a lot of things running in the prison. We've got our library, which actually someone does work in there, which is good. It's Zoo DSS. So 20 days without incident and works in the library, so we have got the books sorted now. We've got our classroom, we've got our mailroom, as you can see, lots of prisoners in there. We've got our shop, lots of prisoners working in there. As you can see, a lot of prisoners. Oh, look at that guy there, he's got, how much? $52 on him, so you can buy a lot of things in the shop, I guess. Although it is a bit of a controlled economy, you could just say, oh, it's $10 for a toothbrush. Deal with it. Why didn't you? Well, just go to the spa down the road and get one. Oh wait, you're in prison. Deal with it. Right, we've got another prisoner released early, so that's pretty cool. They didn't reoffend, so 45 prisoners in total released. It's actually one of the most reformist type prisons that we've made, and we've done ones before where we've let prisoners out, but this one is quite high. I just need to check a couple of things. We need to go down and run through all of our rooms and check to see if the flooring's done. As far as I can tell, all of the flooring is in. That guy there, Buck Wheaton, is actually doing his death row appeal, so he might. Look, that's some nerd hunch he's got going there, isn't it? And it looks like, death row inmate status is now 24%, so he's actually not been. He hasn't had his sentence reduced to just life, and it's actually just, still death row. Anyway, let's keep running around and checking all of the flooring. As far as I can see, I mean, there will definitely be, I can guarantee you, a little bit missing. And generally, what happens is people go, you've missed a bit, and then point it out later on, or drop me a tweet or whatever. Perimeter wall, can we run a perimeter wall across there? We can do, actually, but only in a look at that little bit. That's actually for some reason I can't really do the end bit there. I guess because you need to go all the way around with the perimeter wall, so that there would overdo it. 13,400 generic units of currency structure, generic credits for that. I do want to just put a little bit in. What I'm going to do is do a full shakedown while we are here. Shakedown, there we go. Perimeter wall is getting put in. Cash flow is good. We got 2,284 generic units of currency. If we just go to our intake, we are receiving another death row inmate, which is interesting. Interesting indeed. We have a total of 66 prisoners, but if you actually reduce it down, we've actually got 4 of them are not normal shared capacity, so one protective custody, 2 super max, 1 death row, so that's a total of 4, and that means we've got 62 normal capacity, shared capacity, and then that means we're sorted. So all of the prison is pretty much full in terms of our ideal size, so that's good. We are finding a lot of things here. 1 unit of shank, 1 unit of stabby needle device, 1 bottle of medicine, we don't know what it is, could be laxatives or lemsip. We've got 1 bottle of booze, 1 packet of cigarettes, 1 cell phone, 1 lighting device, and a pair of hedge cutters. So that's interesting indeed. Well, actually interesting. What I mean is it's dangerous. I don't know how they managed to sneak in some shears. That's just dodgy. So danger level is actually flying down, which is an interesting one. Why is it flying down? Several prisons are saying they're well treated. A lot of them are suppressed, obviously, because we've got people going around with shotguns. That tends to, you know, sort of take the edge off a riot, to be honest. We've also got prisoners being calmed. We've got a deterrence because we do hand out punishments. I would think for that is quite good. We've got a death row inmate, Dan Fairbairn, has just come in, sentenced to 25 years for multiple crimes, including murder, and armed robbery. So, as you can see, it's all on there. And the plea is guilty. He's actually pleaded guilty to all of them, which is an interesting one. Character is a federal witness, in an important case. So that's something we have to... Well, normally we would say that, oh, well, we need to make sure that he doesn't get stabbed. But he's in permanent lockdown anyway as part of death row, so we don't really need to worry about that one. We do need to worry about our policy. Not our policy, our... programs, because we do want to go to a parole hearing, stop one of them, and we want to start up another death row appeal, reschedule all the programs while we can, so we can have 2 death row appeals running at the same time. Finish our shakedown because it is underway, and there's that sorted. We're just going to go to materials and then to perimeter wall, and then finish off with a perimeter wall right on the top. I didn't actually... No. You will put a perimeter wall in. Why is that now 15 grand? Pretty sure it was cheaper earlier. Am I missing something? Was I trying to place concrete or something? Why is that more expensive? I'm obviously missing something, but that's an interesting one. Why is that guy rioting as well? He's just shouting about. I have no idea why Wagstaff's shouting like that. So perimeter wall goes to there. Yeah, perimeter wall goes all the way to there. 15 grand. We've just had 3 grand for prisoner released early, and there is our perimeter wall. So we actually managed to get a perimeter wall around the entire prison, which I didn't think we would get done at all. But I'm going to leave it there because, honestly, I don't think there's anything else we can really do or say. All the prison's done. Generally, as far as I can tell, is working well, and that perimeter wall will be done in a couple of minutes. So yes, we are going to leave it there. That is our Alpha 36 prison, the last Alpha prison, basically in Prison Architect, because now it's going to version 1. So what we would do from there onwards, I have no idea. My tentative plan, is obviously to do the Fight Club episode for this thing, and then we'll have a little bit of a break until the first version comes out, and then what I'll do, I'm actually going to go through and do the missions at the start. The thing is, I wasn't going to do that because I can, you know, pretty much guarantee I know most of what they're going to teach in there, but I think it'll be interesting for new players and things like that, because we'll hopefully get some more new players when you know, version 1 comes out, you would assume. So, but it's just something I'm going to have to play through anyway. I wanted to play through, so might as well actually, you know, show you that. So we'll do the start missions, and then what we might do is for, you know, several different of my own prisons, I might actually go through and pick different prisons, like different ones that we've made, like the pod prison and things like that, and then try and escape from them. So that'll be a fairly decent one. But that's all tentative plan, and I'd like to know what you think. As always, comments in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.